everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this is Charlotte. We are husband and wife and daughter, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're going to talk about a couple tips on how to play games with babies.
Yep.
I am guilty of thinking that my gaming life was over and that I was never going to play games again about like a month before we had a baby, and that is not true.
Yes, it's taken some adjustment, but if we're first-time parents out there, don't worry. We have some tips and tricks on how you can still be able to play some games. So if that sounds like something you need and want to see, then just keep watching. So obviously we're still figuring this whole thing out. She's our first and she's 3.5 months old. But one of the key things we learned at the beginning, this is only for like short term. You want to play short games, like 30 minutes tops, maybe not even, like short games. Long games will come. We actually played Brass Birmingham last night and only had to stop, take a 30-minute break. So like big things are happening. But she's a really good baby, to be honest. But short is the key at the beginning.
Yeah, I think more than that, the most kind of interesting piece of that is like you need games that if you were to interrupt them, you either are not going to care, like because the stakes are low, you're not too far in if you have to abandon ship, but also like maybe you come back 4 hours later. It has to be a game that you can kind of remember the context and pick it back up. So
yeah, and I also think games that you know how to play are also going to be key. Like because you don't want to waste all of precious like baby sitting there being cool with trying to learn a game. You just want to be able to jump into it when you want to. Another really important piece of advice, if you're not the one that had the kid and you're the really one who wants to play a game, make sure your partner wants to play that game and is prepared for it. So if your partner who had the kid does not feel like playing, that's fine. Don't make her play. She does not have to. Or whoever is the sole caregiver for the kid, like they're recovering, they're going through a lot. So that's the first thing. And both parties have to be on board with it.
Very important. And I think also in addition to that, sometimes games is not the right answer, especially early. This first 3 months, sleep is important. We just got to the point where she goes to bed at 7:30 at night. Now we can play games. That's great. But when she was going to bed after 1 and we were having to get up early, you need to sleep when she sleeps. Like you need to just like take advantage of those moments and not think it's a great time to play games because you're going to want those sleep hours later.
But let's say you have enough energy to play a game, you want to play something short. Another good tip is you don't want to play anything, you want to be able to play open hand. And what that means is you don't want to have to like conceal any information because most of the time one of you is just going to have one hand to play with. And like if you're both fine with just having those cards laid out on the table and like saying I won't look at them, then you can do that. But if not, you want to be able to have something where you're not going to have to hide any information.
Yeah, it's also just helpful because like sometimes we go up and go around the table and be like, okay, I'll play that for you. And
yes,
like
he will play lots of cards for me. I'm like, hey, can you do that? Like, can you do this for me? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Along those lines, I think it is incredibly important that both parents are comfortable holding the baby. And why don't I take a turn? I'll take a turn right now. So both parents should be totally comfortable holding this little baby so that if you don't, the person who holds the baby the whole time will lose, I promise.
It makes it a lot harder because you are like doing a bunch of things at once. So when they're really little and they can't sit up yet to be able to sit in your lap and be able to play games, what I did a lot at the beginning, I'll insert a clip of me wearing it here. I have this pillow called My Breast Friend, and it was a nursing pillow, and Charlotte would lay on that and she would fall asleep on that pillow, and so I had one hand free, so I'd hold her and then I would play, and so she would just take her nap by laying on that, and that allowed me an easier time to play because she would just fall asleep on that pillow. Now she does are you looking at mommy? So now she does a really good job of being able to sit in our laps and play, and she's kind of gotten used to it. Future gamer over here. Another good thing to do, which is just getting them used to you holding them. So we talked about how to have each partner hold them, but just holding them doing different activities throughout the day. So she just got interested in books. So we read her a lot of books. Like that really doesn't happen until like the 3-month mark. So I think what I've noticed is 3 months is when you really start coming out of it, where she can actually like sit there and has a little bit longer attention span and is okay with like she's interested in your faces. So I really think at the very beginning while they're sleeping is going to be the time when you want to play those first when you don't feel like sleeping.
2 other places you can put the baby is in the stroller.
Yeah.
So we had her do naps in like her car seat stroller where she's sitting up a little bit. and then we'd have her nap like that during games too. So
yeah. And she was with us, so it was totally safe. So she would just sit up, we just pull her up to the table and she would sit there in her stroller.
So we'd be looking at her cards, and she liked that. And then we also have a like battery powered swing, so she can just swing forever in that thing.
She really likes that. She falls asleep. Yeah, but I really think like 3 months is when you come out of it. Now I think we'll have an update on this when she starts walking. This is all pre-walking video, but those are like with actual tiny human. But so those are the tips and tricks on how to do it. Now, what to play? So what are some of our examples? What to play?
Yes, a great first pick would be this game over here, Hive.
Yeah.
So Hive or Hive Pocket is this little like chess-like game where you're playing with these little bug pieces. Your whole purpose is to surround the enemy queen with these different moving pieces. What's great about it is everything's open hand. You can see what's going on at all times. And it's pretty easy to come back to because you're not going to get into a situation where you've forgotten like what your move was.
Yeah. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. So if you have a bunch of stuff, there's stuff on the table that for baby, then it's going to be easy to do. Another great one would be, let's see, Cascadia. Cascadia is a really good game. We've talked about Calico on the channel before. It's a similar concept where you are trying to do different matches of different combos of different things, but it's why it's great for a baby is it's all open hand. So there's no hidden information. It is one of those where it's simpler than simpler than Calico. So if you have to get up in the middle of the game, you can come back to it. And you can come back to it and then you'll be able to keep playing, right? Yeah, you'll be able to keep playing. So it's like that.
Another great one over there is Onitama. So this is another chess-like game where there are two ways to win, either to get your master through the gates at the end of the other side, or to take out their master. It's kind of like the king in chess. But what's really cool about it is that the ways you move are based on these movement cards that you have to give to the other player once you've used them. So you're constantly cycling through which ways you can move. You like that one? Yeah, she likes that one too.
So speaking of Onitama, I think any like chess-like game, I mean even chess if you have that, like so anything, all of those are normally open hand. So also like SHŌBU, I really like.
SHŌBU would be great.
SHŌBU would be a really
chess,
good game.
Chess feels a little heavy because you'll forget your whole strategy if you walk away.
True. Yeah. So maybe not actual chess, but SHŌBU, like the simpler versions of chess. Those chess-like games would be a really good one too.
Yeah.
Another one we threw up here would be Azul Summer Pavilion. Again, all open hand. You have your tiles placed out where you're just trying to do different patterns and create different combos. I really like that game at 2-player. Summer Pavilion's my favorite if you want to even get any simpler. Original Azul is also easier to play. Yeah.
I'm also a big fan of Quarto. So that's one I just realized is not on the set, but super, super fun abstract game where basically it's like tic-tac-toe, but you're trying to get 4 of any attribute. So colors, height, hollow, filled, square, circle. Very, very cool abstract game.
Yeah, and this might be obvious, but any like games that are good at 2 players, this is like what you should be doing, or specifically 2 players, so you don't have to work on that. But Cascadia, we actually gifted it to a couple that had a baby, and they played it almost every night, and so they really enjoyed that one as well. Yeah.
I think just my words of wisdom are, if you're like me and you feel like your world is ending and you're not going to ever play a game in your life ever again, don't be so dramatic. I felt like
he was going through a midlife crisis. Like it was like the couple of like weeks leading up to the baby coming, he'd be like, yeah, I'll get to play games again. Like, I'm okay if I don't get to play. Like, he was trying to reason with himself to be okay, but then once the baby came, he was like head over heels.
And honestly, shout out to all of my amazing friends, like our amazing friends too, because we've had friends come over to our place to play games who are totally chill with a 30-minute break to feed a baby.
Yes.
And that takes real friends. So thank you. Here comes that break.
Speaking of breaks, this is also tips on filming with a baby, apparently. This is the first time we've done one while she's awake.
We're right at bedtime. You want to go to bed? Yeah.
Does this wear you out? Okay, so that is our tips and tricks on playing games and filming with a baby. And so if you have a baby and you have games, your go-to games, I would love to know them. So let me know down below what has worked for you. But I hope this has helped any new parents that have a baby or a baby on the way and you too are wondering if you're going to be able to sneak a game in there. Games also, while we're saying like how to play them, they're also great for people that for something to do together in those evenings, because like now that she's going to bed at 7:30, we can't leave our apartment, so we can play games together. Yeah, it really gives us something to do like after she goes to bed besides just watching TV, and it really gives us a chance to spend time without the baby. So I think that's really good as well. And she's literally fallen asleep on camera. That's nice. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to find out whenever we put out a new video. We have upped our content to 3 videos a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday typically. So make sure you look out for those. Very excited. And I'll see you next time.
Happy playing.